Welcome to Bless Them Boys, a podcast that will definitely not get fooled tomorrow by any Twitter accounts. We're one Saints fan and one Cowboys fan, one fan of Who Dat and one fan of Dat Win. We're here to give weekly takes, game recaps, bad betting picks, game previews, and the occasional Seinfeld reference.
We do have a patron saint / cowboy of the week, and
We're back, baby.
And it is the newest addition to the patron saint / cowboy group, Jonathan Bullard. So I guess technically this one, he's not technically
you gotta wait until the season starts for that.
But for the purposes of today, we're going to treat him as such. Jonathan Bullard, born October 22nd, 1993, played collegiate football at the University of Florida. He developed into one of the top defensive linemen in the country. Highly recruited out of Crest High School in North Carolina, Bullard earned major honors during his senior season at Florida in 2015, including first team All-SEC and third team All-American. Bullard was selected by the Chicago Bears, shout out Andy, in the third round of the 2016 NFL Draft. Spent 3 seasons with the Bears before becoming a journeyman defensive lineman, playing for multiple teams, including the Cardinals, Seahawks, Falcons, Vikings, and most recently, the New Orleans Saints. Known more for his run defense and versatility than pass rushing production, he has carved out a role as a reliable rotational player across different defensive systems. Over the course of his career, Bullard has accumulated over 200 tackles along with several sacks and forced turnovers. His most productive stretch came with the Vikings, where he became a regular starter and posted career highs in tackles. And this past week, he signed with the Dallas Cowboys. So he will continue his career with them in 2026. I'm Paul the Saints fan.
I'm Randy the Cowboys fan.
We're your hosts. Izzy, let them know what time it is.
Yeah, that's it. It's go time. Let's see you lift that.
Mr. Mandelbaum, please.
It's go time.
This one's for you, Pop. It's go time.
It's go time.
You've been married 3 times.
That's it! It's go time!
It's go time.
All right, buddy. We're back. It's almost
With a
April.
vengeance.
With a vengeance, like we never left. We're a quarter after today. We'll be a quarter of the way through the calendar year 2026. So
Yep.
year's going by quick. So we'll talk some football, some baseball, maybe a little basketball. But first, just tell you how you can get in touch with the show. You can do so, blessthemboys@gmail.com. I actually haven't checked the email today.
Donnie's probably screaming at his podcast app right now. He's like, I've been sending you emails for months and you're not reading them. I don't know what Donnie sounds like, but that's apparently he's a very
I don't think I mean,
you don't think he has a New York Jerry Stiller-ish accent?
This show stinks. No, I don't see any there. Blessthemboys@gmail.com. BLESSDEMBOYZ. We are on Twitter on bless_them_boys. You can follow me at Paul Elliott _316. Brandon's at Ball from Grace. I do want to apologize. There was a mishap with my my Twitter account over the weekend.
Did you click on a little bit of male curiosity there?
No. I wish that were the case. I get on Twitter at some point over the weekend and go to log into my DMs, and you know how they've put a code now where you have to and they say your code's changed. I'm like, what are you talking about? So then I finally get it. I finally get in, and I've got several threads, but I understood it as people sending me a message. And it was actually me sending out a message about hey, I'm in the running for this to host this podcast. Can you please go to this link and vote or what? And a couple people replied back and were like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. Like, which I appreciate. Like, totally fine.
Now you know who your real friends are.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no worry. And I tried to at first I tried to just message all of them back and be like, hey, just disregard this. That's why I finally just sent out a tweet and said, please. I tried to parlay it into some plug for us. I tried to say, look, I already host a podcast. It's called Bless the Boys, and here we are. So
you're in the running, Paul. You're in the running to host this podcast. I'll get back to you.
Well, it's good to know. It's good to.
You are aware.
I am aware. You know where this probably wouldn't happen is over at Blue Sky. If we were over at Blue Sky, we'd probably
nobody's hacking on Blue Sky. Did you see somebody posted a graph at one of the like sports analytics chats, and it was like comparing social media followings between the basketball, the NBA, and MLB, and it was like on each like social network, and it's like all followers in millions, and then it had on Blue Sky except in thousands. So it's like, wow, it's like okay.
Well, so Blue Sky was popular for like a hot second when like everybody thought Twitter was gonna
there's always
go away. Basically,
everyone.
Yeah.
Twitter has some like mishap. People think it's gonna die. People move to a new app. Twitter does not die. And then
my favorite use of Blue Sky is to know if Twitter is down. I'll just go to Blue Sky and like people are like, hey, anybody else here because Twitter's down? So but we do have an account at Blue Sky, so you can find us there. Bless them boys. Please follow us. I mean, we can't say we'll do anything about it, but probably need to check that. Maybe we should make that a segment on the show where we just check Blue Sky live on the show. In fact, let's do that right.
There we go. I think I have it on my phone actually.
I may have to log in. No, okay, I don't have to log in. Let's see here. We get to
Blue Sky.
Nothing but Blue Skies. Someone we follow, Matt Lombardo, is at Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen concert. I don't see any notifications for us. Last notification I have is from 4 months ago from Good for No. So shout out to them. That might be.
Oh, I guess I'm not logged into the show account on here yet.
That's a shame. No, nothing doing there. But when we finally get our podcast intern, we'll make sure that we
and we are going to get that chicken.
We are going to get that chicken. If you are watching us right now on YouTube Live, God bless you and thank you. And please hit that subscribe, that like button, that subscribe button while you're here. If you're checking us out later on Spotify or Apple, you can also leave a comment, rating, or review. Have we gotten any comments on Spotify? I don't know would you get notified if we did?
Yeah, I haven't seen any comments on Spotify.
Okay, so, but you would.
We need to
because I don't want Donnie, I don't want Donnie to like. Yeah, I don't want somebody to be like, "Hey, I've been sending you jerks comments for months.
This podcast stinks. They won't read your emails. Don't listen to these idiots." And they hate Caleb Williams.
Oh, right, yeah, of course. I don't see anything on. We have 3 5-star reviews on iTunes. Or we have 3 5-star ratings. I don't see any reviews. But anyway. All right. Well, yeah, that could be the new segment. We check our social media on the show. But yeah, if you are listening to us on Spotify, Apple, thank you so much. Go ahead, leave a rating review. We'll figure out how to read it at some point, and we appreciate all the feedback. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell the bots. Just tell the bots to leave me alone and stop hacking my Twitter accounts.
Yes, tell them you've already got a podcast.
Yeah, I've already got a podcast. maybe that's the bot's way of saying like your podcast stinks. Here, why don't we put you in
Speaking of spam, I did like every now and then I go to my email and click the spam to like clear it out. And my favorite one this week was the subject line was "You pervert."
Oh, nice.
So leading off good, and so it's a. So I was like, I'm curious. You got my attention, buddy. So I was like,
you have piqued my interest,
my curiosity. And so I opened to see what it was, and it was he was claiming that using my computer cameras, he had videotaped me being, I guess, not master of my domain was the threat.
Oh,
and I was like,
okay.
if this is the best you could come up with, like this is your threat. This is what I'm supposed to be scared of.
Got to get up pretty early in the morning.
Yeah. So anyway, I got a kick out of that because it's like, you pervert.
Well, and you know, I shouldn't laugh too much about this. My mom called me a couple weeks ago, and she got scammed. I don't know if I told this on the show, but she was on her computer, and the little thing popped up that said, like, you got this virus, call this number, and
oh gosh.
And so she calls, which, by the way, if anybody's ever seen the movie The Beekeeper with Jason Statham, this is like directly a scene out of that movie where, like, the thing pops up, you call the number, and they're like, oh, and then they want you to deposit money. Luckily, my mom kind of figured it out at one point and was like, yeah. And then she called my my cousin, who is a banker and who does my mom's, like, basically her, big accounts for her. And he was like, yeah, he's like, hang up, like, just hang up. Don't say anything else. Hang up. And then we'll just make sure that nothing gets touched, and nothing did. So
good.
Luckily. So yeah, but yeah, so be careful out there, folks.
It's always they always go after the older folks.
Yeah. It's and for those that do go, you go somewhere and fast.
Yes.
Go somewhere and fast. Just leave people alone.
In a handbasket, preferably.
In a handbasket, preferably. All right, buddy. Let's get. We'll get to some football and other stuff here in a little bit. We'll get to football, baseball, basketball here in a little bit. But first, we at Bless Them Boys pride ourselves on being able to discuss other things.
But enough about fish. I can discuss other things, you know.
All right, buddy. I know one of the things you got up to this week because you texted me about it, and I can't wait to hear your new degenerate activity.
So should I lead with that, or should I?
Let's save that one for the end. Let's save that
okay.
the degenerate activity for the end. Yeah.
Okay. So this weekend, my cousin got married. So we went up to East Texas, and went to the wedding, and then which was a lot of fun. Got to hang out see the family. Kids got to play with some of their cousins and some of the extended family. They had a whole roasted pig, which was really good.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was solid. Had some good barbecue sauce to go with it too. So that was good. Then Sunday, we're not going to be able to go up for Easter this weekend. And so we just did like a pre-Easter lunch with my parents where we let the kids dye some Easter eggs. We had lunch over at my parents. We didn't do an egg hunt, but we did just kind of like hang out. And went to church and saw my nephews singing the children's choir. So there was that too. So that was fun.
Very nice.
Watch some of the college basketball. I didn't get to. We were driving home from lunch, and so like I did not get to see the end of the Duke game. I had to like catch up on the highlights, which RIP my brackets.
Mine as
this
well.
This is the second year in a row that they've had like a big lead, and then just choked it away. Like, brutal.
Which I forgot about U of H last year.
I did not.
So I didn't watch a second of the game. I was busy. We were busy doing some other stuff, and I checked the score at one point, and it was they were up whatever it was, double digits. And then the next thing I know, I'm getting a notification from ESPN that says UConn sinks Duke and I'm like, wait, what? What happened?
Yeah.
And yeah, so crazy times in college basketball. Probably, I mean, it's probably karma for the Christian Laettner shot all those years ago, but that's a shame. So yeah, Final Four this weekend. Where's the Final Four? In Indianapolis? Yeah,
it's in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis,
Yes.
Michigan, Arizona, which everyone says is the de facto national championship game because
then you got UConn and Illinois. Illinois is a good team. I think Illinois is actually a good team. I think these four teams are actually all really good.
I did watch a good bit of Illinois, Iowa, because obviously my in-laws have a rooting interest in Iowa. But that game was actually in Houston. We didn't realize until
Illinois beat Houston in Houston to
Friday night
get to that Elite Eight
Thursday night, yeah. So Iowa, because Iowa won first, and then Illinois beat Houston, and Iowa. It was a back and forth game for most of it, and then with about 5 minutes left, it felt like Illinois kind of pulled away. So tough break for the Hawkeyes, but I said they'd be back next year, but I don't know. I mean,
who knows? Who knows? With the way nobody knows who's going to be back on the team next year.
What I will say, there is a connection between myself and Illinois. The head coach of Illinois, Brad Underwood, was the former head coach of the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks.
That's right. I remember actually like someone mentioning that, but because he was
at
that got
SFA
him when they got to the tournament, right?
And they won, and they beat Bob Huggins. I think it was West Virginia.
Yeah, Bob Huggins was at West Virginia for a long, long time.
Yeah, that was, and they had a player named Thomas Walkup who went on to play. I think he still plays overseas. He didn't make it in the NBA, but he might have been in the G League for a little bit.
Might have got like a cup of coffee or something.
Cup of coffee, yeah. But yeah, I remember they beat West Virginia pretty soundly, actually, if I remember correctly. And then they played Notre Dame in the second round and then lost in like a buzzer beater. That was back when, who was that coach at Notre Dame? Was Pat Connaughton on that team?
Possibly. On that Notre Dame team?
Possibly, yeah. I know we talked about a couple weeks ago, we talked about the 20-year anniversary of Northwestern State beating Iowa. The game that they played after beating Iowa was West Virginia. And there was I saw a documentary or something online, or maybe it was on CBS before one of the games, about the star player for West Virginia at that time was Kevin Pittsnoggle. Do you remember Kevin Pittsnoggle?
Yeah, I do remember Kevin Pittsnoggle.
Hey, that guy was a problem. He was, and that's who beat Northwestern State the game after they beat. And what was crazy about that is, had Northwestern State won, the Sweet 16 for them would have been, I think, in Atlanta that year. And there were talks at the school sending a bus of students if they got that far, which they never did. But so. Oh, well.
The Thomas Walkup actually went to the high school where my cousins went to in Deer Park High School in Deer Park. Okay. And so one of them cool. I don't know if he taught him, because he used to teach calculus. So there is a chance that he taught him, depending on how good Mr. Walkup was. He is currently at Olympiakos in Greece. Oh. So
I knew it was, I thought it was Greece he was playing.
Yeah, he played for the Windy City Bulls. It doesn't look like he actually got into the NBA. Yeah,
because he was. I remember people thinking he had like an outside chance of maybe making a roster, but never came to anything. What else you had? What else got going on this week, buddy?
There are a few new albums that I listened to that came out recently. Bully by Kanye West came out after following Mr. West's apology in the Wall Street Journal. He released a new album. This is definitely his best album since The Life of Pablo. It feels like a lot of the like really good songs are only like 2 minutes long, so it feels like he's getting back to his roots, but he maybe needs to shake a little bit of the rust off, because like this was like has some good songs on there, but overall the album's kind of like incomplete, and there's some that's just like meh. But it does feel like he's closer to where he was. Like his last like 3 albums that I tried to listen to, I was like, this is dog poop. So so I would not recommend those albums. But this one was pretty good.
Okay.
The other one is Creature of Habit by Courtney Barnett, which was a really good kind of like just like an indie rock album. And then the other one, which was Ricochet by Snail Mail, which was probably of the 3, probably like my least like favorite. But these are all 3 good, solid albums. Creature of Habit by Courtney Barnett, probably my favorite of the 3.
So as we close out the first quarter of the year, with March ending here, do you have a favorite album of the year so far that you can?
There hasn't been anything that I just like really loved so far this year.
Okay.
The Barnett album's on there, and then there was the one that I mentioned a few weeks ago by, was it Werewolves? Let me see what that album was, because I have it saved on here. Werewolf by The Brook and the Bluff was the.
Okay.
Those are probably my 2 favorite albums so far this year. Nothing that's really been like, oh, this is going to be my album of the year for this year yet. Like the Cut Worms album that came out was just okay. It was not like my favorite of his stuff either. It's probably his weakest album of the 3 that he's released. So
excellent.
That's where I am.
All right. Now let's talk about your degenerate behavior here. So you sent me a text. Did we talk about this on the show last week? I don't remember.
I feel like I mentioned it.
You mentioned it. So for those that maybe didn't catch us last week, you sent me a text at one point 2 weeks ago. Now I guess at this point about hey buddy, I found a new activity or something like that.
Yeah,
and it was a Kalshi. It was a Kalshi screenshot of the high temperature over/under on the high temperature in Houston the following day.
So it's not an over/under, it's a range. So you have to choose. So there's So there's like a 70 and below, and then it'll be like 71 to 72, 73, 74, and then like it'll give you some ranges on there, and so you can bet on. And you can watch the like market move throughout the day on where this is going to be, and so I think I'm up.
They saw you coming, buddy. They were like, hey, "We got some action for you, buddy."
Yeah, so I'm up $2 so far, which is actually good because let me tell you, on Friday things went pretty badly, so.
I wonder. There have to be meteorologists who like get in on this action, right?
Oh, absolutely. There got to be somebody. So what happened? So what happened on this was the good story I have is like on. I want to say it was like Thursday or Friday, but I'm watching this market go, and it was Dallas. Dallas has been a little bit trickier than the Houston one to kind of play it. So the Dallas market I'm watching, and I have been on, I think it was 86 to 87 for whatever day it was, and it had like stalled out at about 4:15 at like 85. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, I should just, so what happens is you buy contracts at like a price. So I buy 86 to 87, yes, at like, and I think I'm sitting on them at like, I bought them at like 20 cents. And so if it goes up, then like, obviously if it closes out and it ends up in that range, you get $1. So those contracts, so you make a huge profit on that. So I'd been sitting on that for a while, and it was like sitting on 85. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get out and hedge and just like take my like minor loss. I think it had gone down to like 15 cents or whatever. And so I was going to just take my minor loss and then just call it a day. Well, as soon as I As soon as I hit the sell button, I'm watching this. I figured out all the graphs that you need to go to like monitor this stuff like 5 minutes at a time. That thing pops to 85, 86 and a half. And so I go, oh man, I bet the market like moved instantly. I go back to the site. It has not moved instantly. It's still down there. And so I slammed $10 on that baby. and so I go, and then, so I ended up, like one of the things that I've done is like, I should be up like $20 right now. But the thing is like, I've gotten into positions where it's like, I think one day I was watching it and I bet on Dallas at like under 73. And so I'm watching the temperature and like a cold front's coming in and it gets up to like 71 and like it starts dropping. I'm like, okay, we're in the money. And so I look at my position and I'd bet it early and it had been low. And so I was up pretty big on that. And so I was like, maybe I should just cash it here. Well, I look and all of a sudden I'm like, I was like, should I just like write it out? But then all of a sudden I'm looking and like 74 to 75 is like starts like catching up. And so then it goes to like 74, 75 is the favorite. I was like, what am I missing here? Like this never got up to, well, someone points out that on the overnight at like 1 a.m. in the morning, it had popped to 74 for like the briefest of seconds. So that like that day is going to be the high temperature registered is going to be 74 because of what it was at 1 a.m. before this cold front came in. And so like, that's where I ended up like losing my rear end, but I ended up getting it back on Saturday, hitting some long shot temperature stall outs. So so we're back. We're pretty much even money. I will say, so it gets better right now because
he's still going.
So what I noticed is that like I would like one of the temperatures I was locked in on, like it was like 83, 84 for Houston. And it was like, you know, the day had wound down and like that was locked in at 99 cents because it always goes to 99 cents and sits there until like it closes out.
Right.
And so I'm like sitting there and like it's ended. We're at it's like 9 o'clock at night. And what I see is like I get alerts when like the price swings like up and down a lot. And so it goes price drop 83 to 84 dropped from 99 cents to 30 cents. And I'm like, wait, what happened? And then like 2 seconds later, it goes price increased 30 cents to 90 cents to 99 cents. And so what I think is happening is somebody is coming in and slamming one of the other contracts to drive the price down for these and then just hitting the other side immediately. So that, and so I got on Claude yesterday had it build. I was like, I want you to monitor these prices. And if you see a dip, I want you to make a trade. So I've connected it to my account so it can make a trade to buy the dip.
This will end well.
No, it hasn't picked up any dips yet since yesterday. And I was like watching some of the market and I didn't see anything come through. So I don't know like if I'm missing dips or if it's just like not, or if nothing's happened. And so we're waiting, Paul, but this is this is my new hobby now.
You're gonna see Claude driving around in a new the new car.
Hey, Claude, where's my money?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's what I've been up to. How about you, Paul? What degeneracy?
That is, buddy. That is.
That's some next level stuff right there, huh?
It's next level something. Like I said, we're gonna get Train back on the show to have an intervention with you. So obviously, so your wife is aware of this?
Oh no. No.
Okay.
No.
Never mind. Moving on.
Well, I mean, I only put $100 in there, and I told Claude, I said, do not try to leverage anything. I said, do not use anything
Claude,
cash.
Claude's going to be like Kramer. Claude's going to be like Kramer at the track. And
minus $5,000. Claude,
it's a lock, Brandon. It's a lock, Brandon.
Oh, all right. All right, Paul.
Well, I don't think I've placed a wager since the Super Bowl, to be honest with you. or maybe I did. I don't remember. So my wife and I finished up Paradise season 2 this past week. It was solid. It was a good ending. Show's getting a little bit. I don't want to spoil it for folks that haven't seen it, but it's getting a little bit sci-fi ish, a little more. So the first season was very plausible, I would say. If not, I'm not saying it was like a I would call it a down to earth show at all, but it was very, the scenarios were very plausible. Now they're getting to these kind of like almost lost territory. For those folks that remember that show.
Do you feel lost?
Kind of. Not quite, but it just feels like I kind of hope that the third season's got some heavy lifting to do, I think, in terms of like kind of bringing everything together.
Is this the last season? Is this? I heard one show.
Yeah,
they were only doing.
I believe season 3 will be the last season for Paradise.
Okay.
I know there is going to be a season 3. It has been greenlit. But I believe it will be the final season. Let me get to my my Senate Chums challenge, my Denzel edition. So this one I had to get a little creative on this one, buddy. So let me pull up the
and I feel kind of a little thin, huh?
Well, yes, and also the categories are getting a little more challenging, I would say. So this week's prompt or category was called Happy Feet.
Like
when the music
movie.
hits, though that's actually the picture that's associated with the prompter. When the music hits just right and you can't help but tap your foot, that's the inspiration for this week's dancing movie challenge. This week, we're looking at dancing in movies, and there are 4 main categories: movies about dancing, musicals, which invariably contain dancing. Surprise! Here's a dance scene. So think like Reservoir Dogs when Michael Madsen. If you've seen Reservoir Dogs, when Michael Madsen starts dancing, and then finally, dance references in the title. So like even a movie like Dances with Wolves, even though there's no like dancing specifically in the movie, the title references dancing.
What about like Whiskey Tango Foxtrot or something like that?
Yeah, or Tango and Cash would be another.
Tango and Cash, yeah.
Would be another example. Okay, so I started going through now. So here's the challenge. So when I first heard of this and I started thinking of Denzel movies, the first movie that popped in my mind was a movie I've already watched, which is Malcolm X. In the movie Malcolm X, within like the first 30 minutes of the movie, before when he was still going by Malcolm Little, I believe was his name before he converted to Islam, there's a scene where Denzel and Spike Lee are in a club and they just have a full out dancing sequence. So I was like, okay, well, I've already watched that movie, so that's not ideal. So then I said, well, let me go to Google. Let me just Google, and it's like, so I Googled Denzel Washington dances in movie award. Now to be clear, Denzel doesn't have to do the dancing, right? It's
just anybody dancing,
anybody dancing in the movie. So when I Googled it, they brought up the Malcolm X example. The other example was another movie I've watched already, which is Preacher's Wife, because he does dance with Whitney Houston at one point. Go ahead.
What about Remember the Titans?
Okay, so
I feel good.
So on the Google search, the one that they brought up that I hadn't thought of was The Equalizer. Have you seen the movie The Equalizer?
I have not.
Okay, so for those that don't know, in The Equalizer, he plays like a former I don't know if he was a hitman or he was somebody who killed people for a living. No other way to put it. But he's like retired, and now he's working at this like hardware store and just trying to keep a low profile and stay out of trouble, basically. And there's a scene in that movie where he's talking to these 2 younger coworkers, and they're like trying to, because he doesn't really talk a lot, like they don't really know a lot about him, so they're like, hey man, what did you used to do? Like, what, when you were younger? And he said, well, I was a pip. And they're like, a pimp? They're like, no. I was a pip, like Gladys Knight and the Pips. And Denzel actually does a dance routine, like
from the
quick,
yeah.
Like from that. So I was like, oh, okay. So I see that and I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, I think that's gonna be it. But now I should, for context, this is while I was out for my like afternoon walk, and I see that clip and I'm like, okay, well that's good. I guess I'll watch Equalizer. But then I had the brainstorm you just had, which was in Remember the Titans. There is a scene right before I think this is the final game. Right before the final game is when they come and they break out in the dance. And then I think too, doesn't the big guy dance in the locker room at one point where he's singing "Ain't No Mountain High Enough" or something like that?
"Ain't Too Proud to Beg," I think is.
"Ain't Too Proud to Beg." One of the he's singing one of those songs. So I was like, okay, so that's an option as well. And then I still had the Google page pulled up. And I just was like, well, let me see what else they got on here. And someone mentions there's like a Reddit. The movie that I keep seeing reference to is Fallen, which is a 1998 movie Denzel's in. Have you seen this movie?
Fallen. No.
Okay. And I read so I just did like a separate Google search that says, does Fallen contain a dance scene? And the Google AI comes back and says yes. So basically, let me describe the plot of the movie real quick. So Denzel plays a detective who, at the beginning of the movie, he attends the execution of a very bad serial killer who was played by Elias Koteas, who folks may not know the name, but you would definitely recognize him. He's definitely one of the that guy. So he attends this execution, and then after Elias Koteas' character is executed, murders start happening that resemble the murders that Elias Koteas committed when he was alive, if that makes sense. So Denzel's in the movie. John Goodman plays his one of his cohorts. James Gandolfini's in the movie. Donald Sutherland's in the movie. And basically what they end up discovering is that there is this demonic entity that was possessing Elias Koteas, and then when he died, that entity left his body and is now being transported through people by touch. So like if it's in person A and they touch person B, it is now in person B. And they're basically hunting Denzel. They're basically like trying to get at Denzel. So that's the whole point of the movie is like he's got to figure that out. And so I had never seen it. I had heard of it. I had never seen it before. But the dancing part, let me get to that. At the beginning of the movie, when Elias Koteas is being brought to the chair, he does a quick dance number. He just does a quick, it's not even like a full dance routine, but he just starts dancing and starts singing the song "Time Is on My Side." I think it's a Rolling Stones song.
Yeah.
And throughout the movie, for the entity to let Denzel know that they're there, whoever they are possessing at that moment starts singing that song. So anytime Denzel hears that song, he's like, it's like a trigger. It's like he knows.
It's like in Silver Linings when he hears the one song. Is it Stevie Wonder?
I don't remember. It's been a while. I've seen the movie, but it's been a while since I've seen it. So all of that to say is I ended up watching Fallen for this challenge, which I will say this: if you've never seen it, it's very good. The director of the movie is a guy named Gregory Hoblit, who directed a movie I think I talked about a couple weeks ago called Primal Fear, which was like Edward Norton's big breakthrough. So this was the movie he did right after Primal Fear. So he does this. He did Primal Fear. He does this movie, and then he does another movie with a guy I'm going to talk about here in a minute, Ryan Gosling, called Fracture, where Ryan Gosling plays. I think it's a legal thriller. It's like Ryan Gosling and Anthony Hopkins. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard a little bit about it. Speaking of Ryan Gosling, so we all know he had a big movie come out last week, or yeah, I think it was the Project Hail Mary. I have not been able to get to the theater to see it. I would love to. I'm trying to, but what I did instead was I watched a movie. I don't know if we've talked about this movie before. The Nice Guys. Have you seen The Nice Guys? You haven't seen The Nice Guys?
No, and I don't. The name sounds familiar, but I can't think of what it's about.
Yeah, so don't get this confused. So there was another movie around the same time called The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. That's completely different.
I think that's what I'm thinking. I think that's what I'm thinking of, actually.
So The Nice Guys is Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. It's set in I think it's 1970s LA. They are both private detectives that are hired for jobs that contradict each other, if that makes sense. So Gosling is supposed to follow this one girl who's actually played by the young Margaret Qualley, of all people, of Substance fame. This is obviously before the Substance. So he is hired to track Margaret Qualley, and then Margaret Qualley hires Russell Crowe to basically get rid of Ryan Gosling. And then
gotcha.
That's how they cross paths, and then they start working on this case together. And Gosling has a young daughter. I don't remember the whole circumstances about that. But then the daughter, who's I forget the child actress's name, but she's very good. And then she ends up getting involved in all the shenanigans. It's a hilarious movie. I would highly recommend.
So it's a comedy. It's not like
it is a comedy.
Okay.
It is a comedy, but it's a comedy of more of the. I believe it was directed by Shane Black, who's the same guy who did Lethal Weapon and those kind of movies. So I would highly recommend it. I think it's one of the better Ryan Gosling performances, honestly. And that's including, Barbie and all that other stuff. This is a really funny Gosling performance. And Russell Crowe is
he's just Ken.
He's just Ken. And Russell Crowe is very good as well. And speaking of Russell Crowe, another movie I watched this week was L.A. Confidential. Have we talked about this movie?
I watched it because we had a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
You watched it this week, or you watched it?
No, we watched it. I watched it last year at some point.
Yeah. So the reason I watched it this week was it was this week's episode of The Rewatchables. They were doing an episode about. So I was like, okay, well, let me watch it. And when I went to log it on Letterboxd, I noticed that I had just watched it last summer, which is
maybe that's when I watched it. That sounds about right.
Yeah. So it's still good. Spoiler alert, still good. Obviously, Russell Crowe. It was kind of Russell Crowe's breakout role because this is before Gladiator. This is he had done.
I think I enjoyed that one more because I just watched The Usual Suspects at that point. I think I ended up liking LA Confidential a little bit better. But I think I also kind of just because I knew about the kind of characters Kevin Spacey played, I kind of saw that sort of plot twist coming, and so
it's and it was a very big role for Guy Pearce, who after Usual Suspects goes on to star in one, I think a favorite of mine, I think a favorite of yours, Memento, from Christopher Nolan. And then he kind of falls off. He's had a little bit of a resurgence the last couple of years. Guy Pearce, that is, he was in The Brutalist, the movie that Adrian Brody won Best Actor for 2 years ago now, I believe. So hopefully he has kind of a little bit of a renaissance. But yeah, so Nice Guys and LA Confidential, kind of connection there with Russell Crowe being in both and playing detectives in both. And then I did have a Seinfeld connection that I wanted to mention. Watched a movie starring the late great Robert Duvall and also the late great Joe Don Baker, who folks may not know who Joe Don Baker is, but he was a that guy actor of his time. And they play brothers who Duvall's character was sent to prison for two and a quarter years because basically he got set up pretty much. And he gets out of prison and he's trying to get back at the people who set him up. And Joe Don Baker's his brother. And then Duvall has a female, I don't think it's his wife. I think it's more like a girlfriend who is trying to help them out. And, it's basically that kind of movie. They're just trying to get revenge on the people that set Duvall up. But the Seinfeld connection. So as I'm watching the movie, at one point they go to this guy's house because this guy can get them a car, with made up license plates and all, and the whole thing. And the guy's
he goes to the bathroom and there's a matron.
no, that's not it. It's close. But no, the guy's wife comes on screen, and I'm like, wow, this lady looks familiar. Why does this lady look familiar? And it is because it is Cherie North, who folks, the Seinfeld fans among us will know as Babs Kramer, Kramer's mom. Which, by the way, watching this movie, Joe Don Baker could have been Kramer's dad. Honestly.
Oh yeah, just because of the hair.
Yeah. No, he's the hair. He's kind of a conventional looking guy, but like his energy was kind of a Kramer-esque. He's
like
very
when he came into he burst into the room through the door like that.
No, but like he I don't know, like he seemed like he could have balanced out Babs's kind of, because Babs really had kind of a manic energy to her in the one episode that she was in. I don't know. For those who know who Joe Don Baker is, I mean, let me know if you think I'm off the wall there, but I feel like Joe Don Baker could have possibly been Kramer's dad. But the outfit, it was on YouTube for free, so check it out. It's from 1973, so it is a little dated. It's a dated movie. I will say that. There's some Robert Duvall, let's just say, acts very aggressively towards his female companion. So just keep in mind. Again, it is 1973, folks. It is 1973, folks. So just keep that in mind if you're going to check it out. Anything else? Oh, I did want to mention a couple other things. So I didn't watch the trailer, but I saw that a teaser trailer was released for a new Apple TV series called Cape Fear, starring Javier Bardem, Amy Adams, and Patrick Wilson. This is a series based on a movie from 1991 by Martin Scorsese of the same name, starring Robert De Niro. That was a remake of a movie from 1962 or 63, I believe, with Robert Mitchum. And then basically they're all the same story, whereas there's a convict named Max Cady who has been sent to prison. He gets out of prison and he wants revenge on his defense attorney because he feels like his defense attorney did not adequately defend him when he was his attorney. So he basically starts stalking this attorney and his family. In the 91 film, De Niro plays Max Cady. Nick Nolte is the attorney. There's a scene with Juliette Lewis plays Nick Nolte's daughter, and there's a kind of an infamous scene in that movie where De Niro is like with Juliette Lewis, and it gets weird. I'll just say that because especially when you know in context that Juliette Lewis at the time was like 17.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So yeah. So there's yeah. So But I am curious to see, because obviously Javier Bardem is a very good villain. See No Country for Old Men, see Skyfall. Like he's probably one of the best Bond villains of all time. So I'm really interested to see what he brings to this character. And I think Patrick Wilson. I'm assuming Patrick Wilson is the attorney that Javier Bardem is stalking. Although they could possibly. Again, I haven't watched the trailer yet, so I don't know for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they like gender switch it and like Amy Adams was the attorney, and now there's that dynamic, but we'll see. So I'm excited to see Scorsese and Steven Spielberg. Actually, another interesting fact about the 1991 movie Cape Fear, originally it was going to be directed by Steven Spielberg, and Martin Scorsese was going to direct a little film called Schindler's List, and they basically traded. So we almost had Martin Scorsese's version of Schindler's List and Spielberg's version of Cape Fear, but they decided.
Do you think Seinfeld would have been making out in it if it had been directed by Scorsese?
Maybe,
or maybe he would have been making out in Cape Fear in that.
He might have been making out in Cape Fear, which is
know.
Funny because there's a scene in Cape Fear in a movie theater. Nobody's making out, but. One of the famous scenes is like
Newman. There's no Newman just sitting over there, sitting in the corner.
He was moving on her like the stormtroopers into Poland. No, so yeah, so I am excited about that. There was another.
I think I'm gonna try this weekend to get to Undertone. If it's still
that's what I wanted to ask if you had
no, that's my plan since I've got Friday off this week. I think I'm gonna try and see that at the local theater, maybe Friday night. That's my hope.
Okay. I would, like I said, I would love to be able to go see Project Hail Mary. It is a little bit of a commitment. Project Hail Mary is like 2.5 hours long. I want to say it's maybe even closer to 3 hours, but it's getting rave reviews. Everybody says the movie of the year so far. Obviously, we've got the Odyssey still to come this year. We got Dune.
How do you feel about this? I saw previews for the Michael Jackson movie.
I haven't seen any. I haven't seen them. I know it. I
think I saw a lot of them in Vegas. I think they had that on there a lot.
I know. I believe that the movie had to be like reshot, basically. There was a lot of consternation, I'll say, about the production of the movie. I don't know enough about it to speak to it, but I know there was a lot of moving parts, we'll say, with that going on. All right, before we get to the next part of the show here, I'm going to take a quick break. So, Brandon, if you want to camp while I
okay, right now I'm going to try to find where Undertone is showing near me, because it is not currently showing anywhere past there's Star Cinema Grill, AMC Willowbrook. Where's AMC Willowbrook? Tomball Parkway. Oh boy. Well, it looks like I'm going to be making... Well, what are you doing? What's going on here? Okay. Looks like I'll be having to make a little bit of a trek out to see this movie. Out to Tomball. Fantastic. Star Cinema Grill. You know, they do have the Super Mario Galaxy movie comes out.
Yeah. No, I think my wife promised the girls. My youngest is excited about it.
Yeah, I think we're looking forward to seeing that too.
Yeah. Did I see Glenn Powell is in Super Mario Galaxy? He's one of the voices.
Maybe. I don't know. I know.
We got
Chris
Jack
Pratt,
Black for sure. Chris Pratt. Charlie
Day,
Keegan Michael Key,
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Taylor-Joy.
Those are the ones I remember.
You know who's having who's going to have like potentially have a really big year is Anne Hathaway. She's got quite a few movies lined. Well, Devil Wears Prada 2 is the big one, but she also has I saw a poster today for a movie called Mother Mary that she's in. What was the other movie that I saw the trailer for? Oh, it's this movie called The End of Oak Street, where it's Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor are like husband and wife, and they have a family, and there's like a rip in space, and it basically moves their entire street, like back to like the time of the dinosaurs. Like it looked almost. We talked about Spielberg a minute ago. It looked something like out of a Spielberg, like Jurassic Park meets like War of the Worlds type thing. But it's not directed by Spielberg. It's directed by David Robert Mitchell, who directed the movie called It Follows, which was kind of a big hit.
I know what you're talking about.
He directed It Follows, and he directed a movie called Under the Silver Lake with Andrew Garfield, which is quite good as well. But let me see. And then Anne Hathaway is also in The Odyssey coming up. She is the woman who Matt Damon is trying to get home to, which
Odysseus's wife.
Yes,
Penelope, I believe.
Sure. Here we go. So we've
Paul,
got.
Where's your knowledge of Greek history?
Yeah, so Mother Mary. So we've got that. We mentioned that. Devil Wears Prada 2, we talked about. The Odyssey, yes, she is Penelope. The End of Oak Street, which I just talked about. And then there's another movie on the books for 2026 called Verity. She stars as Verity Crawford. I've heard about this one too, but I can't remember. Lowen Ashley gets hired by Jeremy Crawford to ghostwrite novels for his best-selling author wife, Verity, who's unable to finish after an accident. Lowen uncovers Verity's disturbing truths while residing at the Crawford's home to work. So Anne Hathaway is the woman who can't write because of an accident, and Dakota Johnson of 50 Shades fame plays the ghostwriter hired to,
Gotcha.
Sounds like it might be and Josh Hartnett plays Anne Hathaway's husband.
Interesting.
Josh Hartnett having a little bit of a renaissance the last couple of years with Trap, and he was in Oppenheimer. And then he did Trap, and he did a couple other things.
You want to get to the football stuff now? The little bit of football stuff.
Let's talk a little. We'll talk a little bit of football. The owners' meetings are happening right now in somewhere. I don't remember exactly. Somewhere. Actually, before we do that, I do want to mention this came to my attention, or I was reminded of this today. Tomorrow, as we're recording this, April 1st, 2026, the NFL Network now basically becomes part of ESPN. So like all of the NFL Network employees are now technically ESPN employees. Rich Eisen talked about this on his show today, because obviously he was with ESPN prior to going to NFL Network, and now he's back with ESPN. Yeah. So be interesting. That's an interesting I guess if you follow that. But at the owners' meeting, they did have a couple of rule changes that got passed. I don't know if you saw this, Brandon, but just to go through this real quickly, the big rule change. Well, I guess one rule change that didn't even make it to vote, but was brought up by the Cleveland Browns, was the idea of being able to trade draft picks up to 5 years ahead. So like the NBA does. Cleveland took that off the books before it could even be brought up to the owners. I think it was more probably of a mechanism just to get discussion going. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets brought up again in the future. Every person I've heard talk about it from an NFL perspective, like Rich Eisen or any of these folks, have been like, "This is a terrible idea." I think Sean McVay was on Kay Adams' show, and he was like, "Yeah, that ain't happening. Like, we're not doing that." But here's a couple of rules that did get passed. So first off, onside kicks can now be declared at any point in the game. Now, you cannot do a surprise onside kick like the Saints did to start the second half of the Super Bowl, but you can now declare an onside kick at any point in the game. So this came up. We were talking about this with the game at some point during the season where like team was trying to make a comeback, but they couldn't onside kick yet because it was the third quarter.
Right.
And so like, yeah, so now that is no more. So the onside kick is kind of back. Not really. I mean, again, you can't do a surprise onside kick. They are eliminating kicking teams' incentive to intentionally kick the ball out of bounds when kicking off from the 50-yard line. So you kick an extra point, there's a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the extra point on the receiving team. So that puts the kickoff not at the 35, but at the 50. Well, at that point, I guess teams were inclined at times to just kick the ball out of bounds, because if you kick it out of bounds,
the Cowboys did this a couple of times. They had that penalty, and they like would just kick it out of bounds intentionally because it's not
illegal
like
process
where the ball is placed is like 15 yards from somewhere, not. So I think if you're kicking it off from the 50, it's 15 yards from the kickoff spot is how it reads instead. And so if you're kicking it from the 50, it ends up going to like the 35. So there's like that calculus in it, because everyone says it's like from the 40, but it's actually from actually like from 15 yards from.
I'm guessing this rule will eliminate that incentive.
Yes.
So, and then also there's a modification of kickoff alignment requirements for receiving team players in the setup zone. I don't have any more details on that, but this is just a kind of a write-up that Tom Pelissero tweeted out. And then for 1 year only, to allow NFL officiating department to correct clear and obvious misses made by on-field officials that impact the game in the event that there is a work stoppage involving the game officials represented by the NFL referees. So basically what they're saying is, we'll do this, but only if the refs strike, pretty much.
Yeah, they don't want another what is the
Fail Mary.
Fail Mary. Well, have you seen the demands that the officials want? Did you see that list come out?
Cleaner uniforms? Like no, I haven't.
It was like 10% raises every year on a salary of like $350,000, and they wanted playoff games to be chosen by seniority, not by performance. And like there was one other thing, and it was like y'all need to shut up.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but the NFL referees are not full-time employees, right? They are.
No, they're not. They get $350,000 for a part-time job,
right?
And they're not even good at it. So,
and most of them have quote-unquote day jobs, like they're accountants during the week, or they're whatever during the week.
Lawyers,
whatever. And then they just, yeah. Well, yeah. So, I mean, obviously they want to make sure the NFL, I would assume with all these international games coming up this year, want to make sure that they're putting their best foot forward when it comes to that stuff. So that's where they, that's where this comes in. Any news on the Cowboy front? I saw Jerry said something the other day. What did Jerry do? There was a report I saw that Jerry was trying to get George Pickens to fire his agent, or
I think that's fake news.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, it probably is, but
yeah, I don't think we've signed anybody else in the meantime outside of what's his name, the guy, our new
Bullard, Jonathan Bullard.
Yeah, Bullard is the only signing we've made since.
Yeah. So and actually he's a patron Saint Cowboy Bear, as we learned in our. That's probably that. We need to find if we have a Saint Cowboy Bear and Bronco.
I feel like there is.
There has to be. Yeah, there might be. Well, no, Eddie Kennison never played for the Cowboys.
He never played for the Cowboys.
He played for the Saints, Broncos. I think he played for the Bears too. But anyway, while you're looking at that, excuse me. On the Saints' perspective, Kellen Moore did talk yesterday, I believe, and he was asked about Alvin Kamara, and he was still kind of non-committal about Alvin Kamara's future with the team. The thought is that the prevailing thought amongst a lot of Saints fans is if anything, he's going to retire. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, they just signed Travis Etienne. How crazy is it going to be if they? I keep going back to this, but like if they just double down and draft Jeremiah Love at 8, like people are going to like. I don't know how people are going to react to that. I don't know how I'm going to react.
I'm sure positively.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah. But yeah, so Kellen Moore also was talking about they're working to get a deal done with Olave. They want to get an extension done. We talked about this last week. I would have preferred that they do it before JSN signed his contract, but after thinking about it,
I don't think like that's what's Olave going to say is like I should
no
there's no argument for that.
And I think the Saints needed the JSN contract to kind of level set, like to figure, okay, well, if JSN's going to get this, then we can start, if he's here, then we can start Olave at here. I've heard 30 million annual is the number being thrown around right now. But they are still a little ways apart, is what I've heard. So I do also want to mention, this is not directly NFL related, but it affects the NFL, I guess, media coverage. There were numerous layoffs at PFF yesterday, Pro Football Focus, which I know I've kind of used as a source. I never paid for their stuff, which, sorry guys, I guess that might be why y'all had these layoffs, but they were just purchased by a Databricks, I think, or DataWorks. And so as part of that acquisition, numerous layoffs, including Trevor Sikkema, who I think is one of the best draft guys around. I mean, I've quoted him, on the show many times before.
They also let go John Owning, who was like a guy who did a lot of Cowboys coverage. Like anytime there was a Cowboys sign, he would do a lot of breakdowns for. He did game breakdowns for him as well on like a lot of the tape.
Yeah, I will say, like Max Chadwick, who I think was one of their college guys who did a lot of draft stuff. Mike Renner, who was like with the company since the beginning. I will mention that Steve Palazzolo and what's the guy's name? I can't remember his name now. Steve Palazzolo and his co-host from PFF left the company. It's about a year ago now, maybe 18 months ago, and they started their own thing called Check the Mic. And they have a YouTube channel. Obviously, they got the whole thing. They're going to have Mike Renner on their show tomorrow to kind of do a debrief of like what really happened, kind of, as much as I'm sure Mike can talk about it. So if folks want to check that out, I think it drops at I think they go live at like 8:00 Central tomorrow. So if you want to check that out. Yeah, I mean, it's scary. I mean, I don't know if you heard about, to get away from football for a second, but the Oracle layoffs today, which were, apparently there was I want to say it was 300,000 folks got an email at 6 a.m. saying, sorry, this is you're no longer with the company, and we'll be sending you your severance information via DocuSign thing. And then, I mean, it's scary stuff, man. It's, so all our best to everybody impacted. I've been in corporate settings where there's been layoffs like that, not to that degree, but I've been around those types of events, and it ain't fun. I mean, it ain't fun. Obviously, it's not fun for the folks that get let go, and it's also even for the folks that stick around. It's still kind of
You got that. You always got that cloud hanging over your head.
right. That survivor's
Who's
guilt.
next?
Almost. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to some sports here. So anything else NFL related we want to talk about? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that came up. I was just browsing through
Jermon
Twitter.
McCoy did run his 40 today and had a good time. So that was that.
I thought of you. I thought of you when I saw that.
Someone was asking, it was like not to be that guy, but is there any tape of him like actually cutting on the knee? And I was like, fair point.
Apparently somebody tweeted out that Adam Schefter at the owners meeting took a little bit of a tumble down the stairs.
Ooh.
He tweeted out that he's okay, but he said his ACL was spared barely. So I'm sure he's having a good time with that. Oh, I will let the good folks know Yordan Alvarez just hit it to the upper deck in Houston. The Astros are now up 4-1 on the Red Sox. We'll talk a little more baseball here in a second. I thought there was something else football related I wanted to mention, but I can't.
Was it Italy missing their third straight World Cup? Because that's not gone over well.
Oh, poor Italy. Actually, speaking of Italy, the Saints have so the NFL announced like certain teams now have like exclusive marketing rights in certain countries. So like the Saints have exclusive rights in France because they're obviously playing the game in France this year. But the Saints now also have rights in Italy, along with another team who I can't remember who the other team is. But so that's something. Excuse me.
Someone posted that the Winds of Winter was coming, but then I saw that there's April 1st in the screenshot.
Yeah.
Nice try.
The coaches, so that the owners meeting, one of the annual traditions of the owners meeting is they do the annual coaches photo. They get all the coaches together and they do a photo. So there were two coaches that did not make it to the photo this year. One was Sean McVay, which I don't remember why. The other was Todd Monken.
He wasn't good. Sean McVay was not getting a haircut, I assume.
No. Todd Monken apparently missed the photo because he was getting his haircut for said photo. Not a good look for the Cleveland Browns.
I'll just Photoshop him in later.
I did have a wild trade idea. I want to run this by you. So we've kind of talked about this offseason. The Texans might be, or folks have suggested that the Texans may move on from C.J. Stroud, which I actually read today that apparently they're picking up his fifth-year option, which makes sense. So my thought was, at this point, if you're the Texans, you are not calling teams. I wouldn't think the Texans would be calling teams and saying, hey, C.J. Stroud is available. But they got me to thinking, what if a team were to call the Texans and say, hey, we'll give you, A, B, C, and maybe the wheels start turning and maybe the Texans, start to get okay with the idea. And then I thought the funniest team that could call the Texans about asking to trade for C.J. Stroud by far would be the Cleveland Browns. Because it would be like, that last trade we did with the Texans worked out so well.
Yeah. So CJ, man, if they traded him there and then CJ Stroud ended up being a pervert, would be.
Well, I mean, CJ went to school in Ohio. He went to the Ohio State. So I mean, that was part of my thinking too. I was like, well, I guess that would kind of work. But yeah. You want to talk a little baseball?
Sure.
I know. So I mentioned the Astros.
You want to talk about the AL West standings?
Yeah, let me pull them up. You mentioned it right before we turned the mics on. Before we do that, I will say I did find this funny in the NL West, the Dodgers are 3-1. Everybody else is 1-3.
Poor Train.
In the so in the American League West, there's a certain team that's 4-1. That's the Texas Rangers. All four wins on the road, buddy. Not bad.
That's right. Haven't even got to play at home yet. Still mowing them down.
The Astros, meanwhile, 3-2. So the Astros did start 0-2. They dropped the first 2 to the Angels, and Mike Trout hit a homer in both games. And it's like, oh, okay, maybe Mike Trout's back
for a month, and then he'll be injured.
And then Saturday, it looked like the Angels were on their way to their 3rd straight win. It was 6-0 going into the bottom of the 5th. Astros scored 3 in the bottom of the 5th, and then in the bottom of the 6th, they scored 8 to take an 11-6 lead, and then they held on and won 11-9. Then they won the Sunday to wrap up the series. And then last night, as we're recording this Monday night against the Red Sox, Lance McCullers, out of the blue, back from injury for now, comes out and pitches the best start of any Astros starter by far. Let me just pull it up here so I can. Jose Altuve hit 2 home runs. Lance McCullers went 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. So
Lance McCullers, one of my least favorite Astros.
Oh well,
he's a punk.
That's a shame. So Altuve hit 2 home runs. Bryce Matthews, who's one of our top prospects, he hit a home run as well. And as I mentioned, currently the Astros are up 6-1 on the Red Sox.
Rangers have already wrapped up their game for tonight.
Did they win?
They did, 8-5
over the Orioles. Oh, they're in Baltimore. Hey, you think Elaine's at the game if it's in Baltimore?
Maybe she's wearing her hat.
Yeah, maybe she's wearing a Yankees hat at the Baltimore game. That would be ironic.
That would be ironic.
So how have you felt about the Rangers? Have you got to watch them at all, or are you
just been following along with them? The good thing about this year right now is that they're like hitting the ball well, which is like last year they had like the best pitching in the league and couldn't hit the ball. And so I think they traded Simeon for Brandon Nimmo. They added another pitcher in Mackenzie Gore. Jack Leiter has looked really good. They're young. The son of the
Al Leiter?
Al Leiter. That's right.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. So he's looked really good. He pitched really well yesterday. DeGrom had an okay outing today, but they're actually starting to hit the ball pretty well here, which is a good sign because that was their Achilles heel last year. So
talk to me about Jake Burger.
Great name. He did. So he had a home run to like.
That's why I brought it up.
He had a home run to put him ahead on Saturday, and then also the error that ended up sending the game into extra innings, but they ended up winning anyway.
Okay.
I told my friend that we need to get Jake Burger and Kevin Lasagna together for a photo opportunity.
There you go.
The all food team.
Looking at the stats here, Burger tied for second in the majors with 6 RBIs so far. I don't know if this counts today's game. And then he also has second in the majors with 9 hits behind Yandy Diaz of the Rays. The league leader in home runs right now is Chase DeLauder for the Cleveland Guardians. He's a right fielder.
Made that name up.
There you go, buddy. That's DLAUTER. 4 home runs for the young man so far this this season. Again, I don't think this counts today's.
No,
action.
I think they usually update those each night.
Chris Sale is still pitching in the major leagues, which I was stunned that I saw his name. The Blue Jays over the weekend apparently struck out the Athletics like 50 times.
Weren't there a couple of teams that there was a team that didn't have a single in their first 2 games, and that was the first time that had ever happened or something?
I don't know, but the two league leaders in strikeouts right now are both Blue Jays. One is Dylan Cease, the other is Kevin Gausman.
I forgot that Dylan Cease was a Blue Jay.
He had 12 strikeouts in his season debut, and Gausman had 11. So, but Chris Sale, is he? So I was checking. He was born in 1989. He has to be one of the only players left that was born in the 80s. Right?
What year was Justin Verlander born?
Oh, that's true. Well, that's why I say one of the only. Yeah. Verlander's got to. Because what was the Shuck? Shuck was the last player to be drafted that was born in the 90s, right? Is that what it was?
Your guess is as good as mine.
There was some stat I remember about I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking at this point. Let me see. Justin Verlander. What do we got here? Oh yeah, Verlander is older than me. So yeah,
he's been around.
He's been around. Yeah, Houston Astro legend Justin Verlander. And married to Kate Upton, a legend for another reason.
Speaking of legends.
What about NBA? We got any NBA? Are the Grizzlies out of it now? Or are they?
Haven't watched. Don't want to watch.
I've got currently on my screen here. I've got Rockets Knicks. It's like 1994 all over again. Watching the NBA Finals. Rockets are up 94-74 in the fourth quarter here. The Rockets have been struggling. I've heard. Last couple, I guess not.
That's what I've heard as well. They lost they had a 13-point lead in overtime and lost the game, which is pretty impressive.
Right. I did hear about that. Right now, the playoff standing. Let me get to the standings here. In the nope. Come on. Here we go. So in the East, all the playoff teams are set. They just got to figure out the seeding, it looks like. So you got Detroit, Boston, the Knicks, the Cavaliers, the Raptors, and the Hawks. That's 1 through 6. 7 and 8 are 76ers and the Magic. 9 and 10 are the Heat and the Hornets. And then in the West, you've got OKC, San Antonio, Lakers, the Nuggets, Timberwolves, and the Rockets. Those are 1 through 6. 7 and 8 are Phoenix and the Clippers. Shout out to Trang. And 9 and 10 are locked in as the Trailblazers and the Warriors. So it looks like the Blazers and the Warriors have clinched a play-in berth. The Suns are 3 games back. Well, I guess, what would that be? 4 games back of the Rockets for the 6th seed. So probably going to end up being Clippers, Suns. I guess technically the Trailblazers could surpass the Clippers if that could happen. So how many games? Looks like they've got about 6 games. Wait, there's 82 games in the season? Yeah, 82 games in the season, right? So, yeah, it looks like they got about 6 or 7. Everybody's got about 6 or 7 games left. So we're getting to the home stretch here. I did see Oklahoma City and Detroit played the other day. Everybody kind of thought that is going to be kind of a finals preview. So I believe Detroit ended up winning. Kind of a controversial call at one point, if I remember correctly. On Gildress Alexander, he got up, he scored the basket to tie it, but they called an offensive foul late in the game. So I don't know.
I think the problem with the question about Detroit is going to be, how is Cade Cunningham able to get back?
Oh, right. Uh-oh. We have lost Brandon. Well, I'll try to camp while hopefully we get Brandon back. I did want to wish a happy birthday to Christopher Walken, 83 years young for Christopher Walken, one of our finest actors. Looks like we are still live. So if you're with us on YouTube, appreciate it. Stick with us. Let me go through some baseball scores while we're trying to figure out what happened to Brandon there. I haven't gotten a text, so we'll keep you updated here. But let's see, Angels up 2-0 on the Cubs. We got Brewers 6-2 over the Rays. Cardinals 3, Mets 0. That's a Keith Hernandez special game there. Astros are now up 8-1 on the Red Sox. Let me see what happened. Oh, Carlos Correa, the 2-run single there. Diamondbacks and Tigers tied at 0. Yankees are up 2-0 on the Mariners early in that one. Looks like it's the top of the second. Giants 3, Padres 0. Apologies to our good friend Trang. Tough sledding for the Padres so far. Let me just send a quick text. May have to cut this episode short, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see with Brandon, if we can get Brandon back on. Oh, there's Brandon. Maybe. See if he's back. You back, buddy?
I think so. There I am.
Okay. Yep, I can hear.
Yeah,
I can hear you now.
My computer is like telling me that it's going to die very soon. So
okay. Well, then we can cut it short. I mean, we're just kind of. I was just camping. What do you want to? So before your computer completely craps out on you, do you want to do a immaculate grid, or do we want to just?
Let's attempt.
We'll attempt. Okay, so let me pull up. Just give me a second to get to the grid for today. So for those that don't remember, because we haven't done this in a while,
we have not.
What Brandon and I do is we go to Pro Football. Well, actually, no, it's not Pro Football. It's
Sports Reference.
Sports Reference, yeah, thank you. sports-reference.com/Immaculate Grid, I believe, is the website. Yep. So sports-reference.com/Immaculate/Immaculate-Grid. I'll get there eventually. And then obviously they have one for baseball, men's basketball, women's basketball. We go ahead and do the football one. So let's get to the one for Brandon. I have today's grid as number 986. Is that the number you see?
Yep, that's it.
All right. So we're going to do this. So if you're playing along at home, that's the number we're looking at, number 986. I'll read off the columns and the rows. So the way this will work is we will flip a coin, decide who goes first. They get to pick a square. They give a player for that square, and then the other person gives a player, and the person who gives the player with the lower score wins that square. And then we just do that back and forth for all 9 squares. The one who wins the most squares wins the game. So for today's grid, our rows, we have the Washington Commanders, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. For the columns, we have the Baltimore Ravens, the Buffalo Bills, and the category of 10 or more receiving touchdowns in a season. So, Brandon, do you have a virtual coin you can flip, or do you need me to?
Let me see.
Or do you care about going first?
No, I don't really care. You go.
Okay. All right. So I will kick us off. And again, it's been a while since we've done one of these, so you're gonna have to bear with us, folks. I think I'm gonna start. Let's keep it simple. I'm gonna go with the top left corner there, and I'm gonna go. And this is Commanders Ravens, and I'm gonna go with. I just got to double check this real quick. Yep, I'm going to go with a patron saint / cowboy, and that's Billy Cundiff.
Okay.
So let me pull in Billy Cundiff. 0.6% is my score.
Okay.
So Brandon has to get lower than that to win the square here.
Well, that would have been my choice for that, but since you used it, I think what I'm going to do is go with.
Oh, and I should point out while you're considering, we never done this, I don't think, but if you don't think you can come up with a better score, then you could basically concede the square if you want. But
I think we've done it a couple of times.
So, or you could basically say, I'll use that one too, and then the person who said it first wins. So,
okay, I'm going to use former Cowboy quarterback Tony Banks.
Tony Banks,
2%.
Super Bowl winner, Tony Banks, right?
Yes. Okay, he was 2%.
2%. Okay, just like good milk. All right, so I get the first square, so I'm up 1-0. Brandon, it is your turn to select a square.
I will move to the right for Bills Commanders, and I will take East Texas legend Larry Centers. 0.4%.
Immaculate Grid legend Larry Centers. Now I should point out too, and I don't know if this will come up or not, but so you've obviously used Larry Centers. I use Billy Cundiff for my square. You could use Billy Cundiff for a different square later if you'd like.
Right.
And I could use Larry if he fits. I could use Larry Centers as well. I just know it's been a while since we've done the game, so I'm trying to keep everybody informed here. I'm going to go with this is Bills Commanders, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go with. I have a feeling this is going to be a higher score. What was the score for Larry?
It was 0.4%.
0.4%. Okay, I'm going to go Case Keenum, and that's 2%.
Okay.
University of Houston legend Case Keenum. All right, so I guess actually I'm not going to finish out that road just yet. Let's move down. Let's stay in the Bills column, but let's go down to the Jaguars.
Okay.
So the Bills Jaguars. Got a couple of options that come to mind, but I think they're. Oh, yeah. I guess. I feel like this is going to be a high score, but I'll go with it anyway. Saints legend Chris Ivory.
Ooh.
Yeah, 2% for Mr. Ivory. So what do you got, buddy?
Let's see. We're doing Bills.
Jaguars.
Okay. I don't want to use Paul Posluszky because I feel like that's going to be.
Yeah, I think that was my. What was it? Yeah, that was one of my initial. Thoughts.
Okay. Former Cowboy legend.
Uh-huh.
That dude.
Ooh.
Marcellus Wiley. .3%.
He was just on Jason Whitlock's show, I believe, the other day.
That's a shame.
Yeah. So shout out to Mark. He was one of my favorite. Commentators for ESPN back in the day. Not Jason Whitlock, Marcellus Wiley. Okay. Well, so just to keep the score, so Brandon's now up 2-1, right?
Correct.
Okay, you won the last two.
Okay, let's go up. Let's go up to the middle square.
All right. Bills.
Eagles, Bills, and I'm going to take a guy, since it's draft season, a guy that I really wanted the Cowboys to draft out of West Virginia, cornerback, Rasul Douglas, 1%.
Okay. I thought you were going to say, did I send you the Paxton Lynch thing? Somebody compared one of the quarterbacks coming out this year. They said like it was the quarterback from Arkansas, and they were like doing a comparison, and they said the floor was Paxton Lynch, and I was like, oh, here's Brandon's favorite.
That's the
that is the basement. Shout out to Memphis legend Paxton Lynch. All right, we're doing Bills, Eagles.
Correct.
Who did you use? Sorry,
I used Rasul Douglas.
You used Rasul Douglas. What was the number?
1%.
1%. Okay. I'm also gonna go with a defensive back, but this guy provided a low point in my franchise's history. It's Nickel Roby-Coleman, the guy who was not called for pass interference in the Saints-Rams game some years ago. 0.2% for Mr. Coleman. So he finally does something to help me out. So that one's to me, right?
Yep. So we're tied 2-2.
Right, so tied 2-2. The choice is to me.
That is right.
Okay. Let's stay on the Eagles. I figure you want to get done with the Eagles as soon as possible. So let's go Eagles Ravens.
Okay.
There's a couple Saints legends I could use here. But I feel like their scores would be too high. There's also an Immaculate Grid legend that I could possibly use, but I don't want to tip my hand here. I'm going to go. So again, we're doing Eagles Ravens. I'm going to go with Saints QB legend, and I feel like this score is going to be pretty high. Jeff Blake.
Okay.
Former. 1%. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought.
Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and use the Immaculate Grid legend, Mr. Jason Babin.
Yep, that's what I figured.
0.4%.
Because every once in a while his score pops for some reason.
Yeah.
Like in a certain category, it'll pop, but this was not one of those times.
Okay. Hold on, let me check this guy. He's a Super Bowl champ.
Okay. Are we going to finish out the team? Or are we
We're
going
gonna
to do
finish
Ravens?
the team. We'll finish the teams here.
Okay.
We go Baltimore,
Ravens,
Jacksonville.
Jaguars. Okay.
This is a. Let's see if you remember this name, Sean Considine.
Ooh, no. What was it? What position did he play?
He was a defensive back, 0.2%. Oh, college Iowa. Shame on you, buddy.
That must have been before I started watching him.
I think he was a white defensive back, if I remember correctly. One of the
from Iowa? No kidding. He was Cooper DeJean before Cooper DeJean.
He was. Oh yeah.
All right.
This dude is very white. Super Bowl champion with the Ravens, by the way.
Oh, good for him. So, so what was this? What was his number? Like 0.1%? You said
0.2.
0.2%. Okay, so I'll go ahead and use Jason Babin here.
Okay.
Because I figure it's not going to help. I'm not going to win, but at least this will give me a fighting chance. 1% for Jason Babin. So you win. So we're tied at 3. Wait, is it tied at 3?
Wait. So I won Larry Sinners, Marcellus Wiley, Sean Considine, and Jason Babin, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. So you're up
4-2. I just need to take one more of these.
All right. So it's my choice, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we are now on the column of 10 or more receiving touchdowns in a season. Now, let me just verify something real quick if my tablet will allow me. When paired with a team, 10 receiving touchdowns must be achieved with that team in a single season. Okay, so just to be clear. So these have to be 10 receiving touchdowns or more in a season for either the Commanders, the Eagles, or the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
I guess let's start at the top. Let's start with the Commanders. And I'll go.
There was a tight end that I remembered for this that I think I'm gonna. I looked him up, and I think I'm gonna.
Okay.
I confirmed.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with maybe it's the guy I'm gonna go with, but I'm gonna go with Ricky. Don't call me Deion Sanders.
Nope,
that's not him. Okay, well, if my tablet would cooperate here, let me type it in. Rick, come on. Ricky. My tablet is. You're having difficulties with the computer. I'm having difficulties with my tablet. Ricky Sanders. I want to make sure I get it right because I want to select the wrong name and then I'm SOL, as the kids would say. Come on, man. Oh, interesting. It's saying he didn't. I looked it up, though. I thought.
Did you select the wrong Ricky Sanders?
Oh, no. I selected I thought I selected the Commanders bucket, and I selected the Jaguars bucket. Okay, so that stinks.
Womp, 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 womp.
Oh, hey, hang on. You go ahead. You give your team for this one, and or
okay.
your player, I should say.
Okay, I'm using Jordan Reed.
LSU legend, Jordan Reed.
7%.
No, was Jordan Reed LSU? Was he LSU? I don't think he was. I'm thinking of Josh Reed. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let's got to catch up. I've got to
Florida legends.
I got to transfer this to my phone. Chris Ebony and Ivory, and Jason Babin. All right, now Washington. Here we go. Ricky, what was the score for you?
7.
Ricky Sanders, 2%. So 4-3. You're up.
All right. I am going to take. Okay.
So are you doing Eagles or Jaguars?
Let's do Eagles.
Okay.
So there is a player who you could use for both the Commanders and the Eagles. I think people think of him as a Commander, but he also scored 10 touchdowns for the Eagles.
That's okay.
I'm going to double check this just to make sure.
Why don't you just tell me the name of the? I thought you were going to say Irving out of the frying pan into the fryer, but that he was not a Commander. He was only an Eagle.
That is incorrect, Paul. Although he did not have. So I am using Irving out of the frying pan into the fryer.
Oh, okay. He had 10. He had for the Commanders. He had 10 or more.
No, he didn't have 10. I just looked. He does not have 10.
Okay.
1%.
Oh, righty then. I mean, this probably won't work, and you'll clinch, right, if you get this square?
That's correct.
I'm just going to go Harold Carmichael. 9%. So you get that one. All right, so now just for yucks, let's do the Jaguars. 10 or more touchdowns. You get to go first. I know. I am aware. Let's see. My initial thought would be either Keenan McCardle or Jimmy Smith, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be. I at least want to make the score respectable here. Actually, not as many options as you'd think. I'll go Mercedes Lewis.
That's who I was gonna use.
7% from Mercedes. So my final score is 24.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna use Mercedes here. I don't feel like coming up with.
Yeah. So my final score is 24.
$19.
Okay, so at least the final score was somewhat close. But you won, so you conceded that square. So the final tally was what, 5-4?
Correct.
Okay, well, that's respectable. At least I didn't get like when we were doing this more regularly. There was like 3 or 4 weeks in a row that you beat me. You just kept wiping the floor with me, and I couldn't. I was on my back like a turtle. All right. Well, yeah, that's fun. Shout out to the fine folks at Immaculate Grid. We had I can't remember his name now, but we had on the show, we had the guy that kind of came up with Immaculate Grid, or at least
we did
help. Yeah, and I got to interview him, and I got to interview the gentleman who kind of oversees the football side of it as well. It was a good interview, so go check that out. But all right, so now normally in the past when we have done an Immaculate Grid has been to determine who goes first in the draft. We don't have a draft tonight.
We do not.
Do we want to try to do a mock draft? Do you think your computer can hold out for?
Let's. I think. Let's right, try to plan one for next week.
We'll save it. We want to save it because we do have obviously the live watch along of round 1 of the draft coming up a little less than a month now before that happens. So we'll call it a night there. Hope everybody has a good week. Happy April. Don't get fooled tomorrow.
That's right. Be on the lookout.
Remember, check those tweets twice before you start.
Winds of Winter is not coming, folks. I got news for you.
It is April 1st in some parts of the world already, so just be careful out there. But we will see everybody next week. We'll have the Final Four under our belt, as it were. So we'll have a national champion decided there. We'll get one step closer to the draft. We'll do a mock draft. We need to try to get a guest on to talk draft if we can. Listen, if anybody that was impacted by the PFF layoffs is somehow listening to this, by all means, reach out. We would love to have you on the show.
That's probably why they were laid off. We checked your browsing history. You were listening to Boston Boys.
We apologize for that, number one. But secondly, we would love to have you on the show if you are so inclined. We'll check in. I think so. Obviously, NBA season is winding down. Baseball obviously just getting started. Brandon's going to be betting on the weather.
That's right.
Oh, vey. We'll have we'll have a movie review from Brandon about Undertone next week.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see. Fingers crossed. Anything else you want to tell the fine folks before we sign off for the week, Brandon?
Give me 1 second. Houston, high temperature tomorrow, 81.
That's the number?
That's the number.
Okay.
Dallas, high temperature, 87. For those
warmer in Dallas than in Houston.
It's on average it is. That's pretty. Really? That is actually usually the case.
Huh. Okay.
Fun fact.
And for more fun facts like that, check us out next week. Did I not send this? Wait, I thought I sent this tweet. I sent. Yeah, I sent. Okay, I don't know what happened here. I opened my Twitter account on my tablet, and it was the tweet of saying we were going live.
You tweeted it because I quoted it, so don't.
Yeah, because I did. Okay, because I got concerned there for a second. All right. Anyway, so we will see everybody next week. Hope everybody has a good week. Happy April. Don't get fooled tomorrow. We'll see everybody next week. And then until then, happy baseball, football, basketball, all that good stuff.
Later.